if you don't know what it is, this is going to be a weird sentence to say, but all I had spent most of my time watching the first season, I was just sitting there going, "Who drew the dicks? Oh my God, who drew the dicks?"
You're listening to the Good Stuff Podcast with CK Helms, Zach Bandit, Ryan Mullins, and Jeremiah Elliott.
Hey everyone, you're listening to episode 36 of the Good Stuff Podcast. I'm your host, CK Helm.
I'm Zach Bandit.
And I'm Ryan Mullen. That's actually not everybody who we are. I'm CK.
None of that information is correct.
None of that information was correct. Jeremiah is not here. That's the only information I can give you. I'm CK. First person was Zach, and then Ryan was after Zach. So we're just trying to have some fun today. I don't know why. We just want to change things up. As Zach said, you're listening to episode 36 of the Good Stuff Podcast, and we got a pretty good show lined up for today. D23 was just this past weekend, and if you don't know what that is, that's the Disney Expo that they have every year. It's kind of like their own version of Comic-Con, basically, but it's all Disney stuff. And you get a lot of announcements and stuff like that of what they're doing for their parks and their movies and now Disney Plus shows and stuff like that. It's getting pretty big now, and so that is what our main focus is on today. But as first, what was that?
Now that Disney owns a little bit of everything, it's pretty much just a really, really long conversation about the history of the world.
Yeah. I mean, it's just the history of Disney, is basically everything that we're talking about. We're not sponsored by Disney, but we do pledge our allegiance to the House of Mouse for whenever Lord Mickey takes over. We don't want to be put in any type of concentration camp or anything like that, so we just want to make sure he knows where our allegiances lie. So
if they do decide to buy us out, then I guess we'll just sell them.
I can see it coming. You used to be a fan of SpongeBob. You're coming with us.
Maybe so. Maybe that'll happen. But yeah, so let's get into it though. As always, we open up the show with the opener. We're very, very good on names here. And on the opener, we talk about something kind of controversial, opinionated, something like that. And then we give you a top 5 list. And today, nothing really has happened this week controversial. So I just had to pick something that is kind of a relevant topic, and it kind of goes along with what the show is about today. And we're talking about streaming services. Is there too many of them? We all wanted to cut the cable cord, but now that we have all these streaming services and more popping up, Disney Plus is on its way, then HBO Max is soon after that. And will be coming out next year, and they're just going to keep coming, all these streaming services. So is it too much? And also I want to talk about what your future streaming plans are. Like, what with these new streaming services coming out, are you going to condense down on what you got going now? Because I mean, I don't know what everybody does right now for streaming services. I'm on Jeremiah's Netflix with him. We share Netflix. Or I guess he just carries me with his Netflix. I have Hulu and DC Universe. So, I mean, I don't know what your other guys do. I mean, have as far as streaming services wise, but I want to know your future plans. So, Zach, let's start with you, man. Is there too many streaming services out there?
I mean, yeah, I guess, because I don't know, maybe not at the moment, but there's too many coming out, I guess. The future seems mostly streaming, and I don't things keep coming out, so I don't know if they expect CBS is mostly putting their shit on their streaming service and not putting it on
CBS All Access.
Yeah, like they're just putting it on their channel, or they're not putting it on their channel, they're putting it on their streaming service, and it's like they're kind of all moving away from cable, but it's like getting to the point where it's more expensive than having cable with their channels and all that. So it's just like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I think they're kind of opening it up for more like piracy too. I think because not everybody's gonna like people are gonna want to watch certain shows, but they're not gonna want to subscribe to everything. So they're just gonna illegally download it or stuff like that.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, I think it's starting to get to the point where there's too many. I think at this point there's not like too many that you have to pay for, but I know there's some free ones out there. But yeah, I think it's just getting to that point where it's getting too much.
No, for sure, for sure. It's like where do you put your money at? You know, I mean, if you put all your money in like every streaming service, like you said, CBS has got their own thing going. You know, you got your Netflix, your Hulu, your Amazon Prime, you got Disney Plus coming out, you got HBO Max coming out. Then next thing you know, you're spending like $60-$70 a month on these streaming services. And that's the whole reason you don't have TV in the first place.
Right.
Was to save money.
So,
yeah. Also, fuck the cable companies. I mean, I absolutely hated the fact that whenever I had a cable subscription, that I was getting charged. You know, I was having to pay close to $120, and most of that stuff is because of sports channels or movie channels that I'm never going to watch. Like, who cares if you're giving me Stars free weekend? I'm not going to watch it if the only movies on it are the Pink Panther and and you know, just some random 80s movie about cocaine and romance, you know? Like I'm not gonna watch that. So why am I being charged, you know, $120 for that stuff?
I can't believe you just dissed on Pink Panther, man. That come on, that's a classic. Totally joking, totally kidding on that. But I mean, the good thing, I guess, that I could see how these streaming services, well, not too many having too many streaming services. The only good, what I like about the streaming services is the original programming. You know, the shows and movies that you get from these original programming and stuff is really good. And, you know, and a lot of shows that I watch is original shows, you know. And I think that's mostly what I'm really excited about Disney Plus, though, is all the original stuff that they're coming out with. Like I was just talking to Zach the other day. I said, dude, literally when November 12th hits, that's when Disney Plus starts, there's literally so much original content that you're going to just the original starting out content, not the stuff that's going to be coming, but just the stuff starting out. I mean, you could be watching that until like at least spring break, just trying to watch all their original stuff, you know, depending on, you know, how much time you have on your hands to watch original programming.
But I do got to give them the fact, though, that there are so many shows, so many good shows that are coming out exclusively for like Hulu and Netflix that we would have never seen on basic cable. You know?
For sure. Yeah, because I mean they're on a different level because more money's put towards those, and it's like
not only that, they don't have to follow the FCC rules.
Right. And just the way that they look, there's like a you know, there's always either you're a TV actor or you're a movie actor, and there's a blurred line now between between TV and movies that now this streaming service actor that you could be a movie actor, you could be a TV actor, either one, and these people, doesn't matter, all people, different actors from TV and movies are both in that streaming service acting genre of people, of things. And it's a really cool thing because the quality's so much better, and as I said, you get different actors mixing together and stuff.
Yeah. and I can't remember who it was, but I think it was one of the actors on the Lost in Space series who was saying that one of the greatest things for them being on a streaming service is that, especially like with Lost in Space, uh, you get to do so much more, and you don't have to meet some weird uh, cable broadcast season requirements, you know?
Mm-hmm.
You get to do it your own way. Like if you want to have a season that has 12 episodes, you can do 12 episodes and make them really great episodes. Or you can do a season that has 22 episodes and maybe an episode or two is going to get, messy in the mix because, oh, we had to have this episode out by such and such day, you know?
Yeah.
And that's what they were saying is like they got to take their time and do the visual effects that they truly wanted to do. But if they had put that show on, they said if they had put that show on cable, it may not have turned out anywhere near as good as it did.
Yeah. And because of streaming service, we have binging now that you can do. You get all the episodes at one time, and you can just literally in just a day and watch all the episodes of the entire season if you wanted to, an entire day or two. So it does have its perks, and then at the end, here's the negative aspect of it is there's too many of them out there. And so I think which goes into our second part of this question here, is that really you need to just basically do your research on all the streaming sites, what's coming up and everything, and decide from there what you're going to get the most out of your content. All right. Yeah. And then if you got to cut some stuff, then you got to cut some stuff, and figure out this is the streaming sites that I want now. This is the future plans of what I'm going to do here. Okay. Because let me speak to you guys about your future streaming plans, okay? And so, but real quick, let me tell you mine, and then I'll go and I'll ask yours about yours, Zach. But for mine, all right. So you guys know how I've been a big proponent of the DC Universe app.
Mm-hmm.
Like totally talked a lot of good things about it. Well, once we started getting ready for the show this week, I was like, well, I need to go ahead and start thinking of my actual plans instead of saying what my plans are. I need to actually start thinking of them. So I decided that, Disney Plus is, after this D23, like I've seen so much stuff, I have to have this thing. And then I started thinking about, well, I still want to keep my Hulu and stuff. And I was like, and then I really like DC Universe. I do. But then I was like, literally, you're getting one new show at a time, original show on DC Universe at a time. And you only get one episode a week, right? So literally, you're only getting 52 episodes a year of new content. With Young Justice Outsiders, it's been different because there was some weeks that we got multiple ones. But, let's just break that down and say 52 episodes a year of new content. But here at, say, Disney Plus, if I'm going to get 6 shows at one time, with each have 10 episodes, there's 60 episodes right there, right off the bat. Not to mention a couple of months later, I'm going to have something else new,
Yeah.
So this week, guys, I canceled my DC Universe subscription. So mid September, whenever the month ends, I won't have DC Universe anymore, which was a big deal. But I figured I needed to do that. I cut something else too. I can't remember what it was. But I was just did that because I'm preparing for the future. So my future plans, my streaming is that I'm just gonna stick with the Hulu, and we're going to get that Hulu, which we've talked about before, the Hulu Disney Plus ESPN Plus thing.
Yeah.
Because there's literally, it's only $1 more than I'm paying right now a month. And plus, my wife likes to watch sports because she's apparently the man out of everybody on the Good Stuff podcast. So that's going to be my plan. So I went ahead and just cut it now because I was like, I'm just gonna I'm just gonna figure it out and do it now, because if not, I'm just gonna. Because I noticed I was sitting here paying $8 a month, and I'm only watching like 4 episodes a month of a show, and they have tons of stuff that you've seen, like, other shows that are like movies, DC movies and DC shows that have been out before, but I don't really have time to go watch stuff that I've already seen, because I've seen all the DC shows and movies. I don't have time to go see stuff that I've already seen. I'm wanting to see new stuff. And then they have the comic library, which is really good if you got time to do that. But I'm still behind on my current comics, much less reading old comics. So I was like, this is just time in my life right now that I can't do it. So it was a pretty big deal for me. So Zach, what's your future plans?
I mean, I mooch off my mom for Netflix and Amazon Prime. I probably wouldn't really be subscribed to those if I wasn't on her stuff. The only real streaming services I'm really interested in is just Disney Plus, and then Hulu is probably my main go-to streaming services, which I would pay for. I plan on probably paying for at least a year in advance. I know they're doing this deal if you pay for 2 years and you get your third year free or something. But
Yeah,
so
it's $140 for 3 years.
Yeah, I'll see how much money I have. I might just only do a year, but I mean, I know like Disney Plus is gonna be one of the streaming killers, I think, because like it's gonna have, like, they own everything. So I mean,
yeah, it's about time that one streaming service bit dust, and that hasn't happened yet. But
yeah, and then
it's gonna be hard for someone to compete with Disney, Pixar, Marvel, and Star Wars. I mean, those are big brands.
I know Netflix is gonna have to like stop putting out so many shows because they're just like funneling money in the shows that just get canceled and like nobody watches, or they're like popular by a small group of people but not popular enough, so they just cancel them.
Yeah, especially with them not having advertisements on their streaming service.
Yeah, like if they did go the advertising route, they'd make a shit ton more money. But
yep.
So see what happens. Either they'll probably have to lower their price, I would assume, like, or else they're gonna like die out, and maybe lower the price and have an ads option. I don't know, but
they're gonna have to do something.
My hard choice was I have Hulu with the HBO add-on, and I made the decision to remove the HBO add-on from my billing cycle because I was really thinking about it, and the only thing that I watch anymore from the HBO streaming stuff is Last Week Tonight with John Oliver, and ever since Game of Thrones ended, and I was like, man, I just realized I'm paying $45 extra a month for one show that they put on YouTube anyways. Like that show within the hour of the show being broadcast, it's on YouTube. It's like I really have no reason to be paying this extra $45 a month, you know?
Yeah.
If HBO comes out with another show that's got the draw like Game of Thrones, maybe, but even with the other shows that they're going to be adding, like the other continued shows of Game of Thrones, I honestly doubt I'm going to pick the HBO stuff back up.
Cool. You gonna get Disney Plus or?
If it's a Hulu add-on, I will probably have it for at least
at least 3 months to watch some of the live action movies that I was unable to watch in theaters, like Dumbo and what was the other one? There was one that they announced that like really stuck out to me, and I was like, well, that just made it worth it. I can't remember what it was now. When I remember it, I'll probably just chime in. Oh God, that was it.
Okay.
But,
All right, so let's move into the list of as I said, one of the things that I really like about streaming is the original content. So we're going to give you our top 5 original streaming shows. These are shows that you can find exclusively on a streaming service. And so let's we always like to start with Ryan. So Ryan, won't you start us off with your top 5?
no. Okay, so my top 5. Number 5 for me is Catch 22. If you haven't seen it, it's actually a really good and hilarious show starring George Clooney about it's it's a wartime show, but it's all comedic about just the misadventures of a troop of people in the military undergoing some awkward circumstances. It's been really good so far. I'm looking forward to more episodes of it whenever they come out. My number 4 is Lost in Space. It's on Netflix. I mean, of course, it is a retelling of the Robinson family Lost in Space, but one of my favorite movies in my teenage years was the Matt LeBlanc version of Lost in Space. That was a great reboot of the series, and that the movie always caught it always caught me. Anytime it was on, I had to watch it. It was just a really good movie based off of a really old show. But the new series has been like really good, and they it's got a really good it's got a really good way of making you want to see the next episode every time. Am I allowed to say the Orville now that it's going to streaming only as my number 3?
I'll take it. I suppose.
Okay.
I almost put. Well, I mean, I would have waited until it put out season 3, but you can go ahead and say it. It's all good.
If just in case, I'll say number 3 is Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt. It's a hilarious show about a girl played by Ellie Kemper from The Office. She's been in a cult her entire life, and she gets the cult leader gets stopped, and she has to go from this cult life into the real world. I find the show personally super hilarious because maybe our listeners don't know this. I grew up in a cult and I had to come into the real world, and a lot of the stuff it really touches home with me. But it is really funny and definitely worth watching at least the first season. Number 2 for me is Disenchantment. Disenchantment is the Matt Groening who made The Simpsons and Futurama. It's a crazy little story about a princess who's dad is the king who just he's out of his freaking mind, and he's trying to merge the kingdoms by forcing her into a marriage, and it's the story of her trying to escape all that. But of course, it's Matt Groening. It's the same comedic stylings of Futurama, which is one of my favorite shows of all time. My number one, and I know this is going to catch some people off guard, is Jack Ryan. I've always been a fan of the Tom Clancy movies and the Tom Clancy games. Not so much the Tom Clancy novels, because he's super over descriptive on little things that don't need to be that descriptive. But it stars Jim from The Office. Whenever I first heard word that he was possibly going to be playing Mr. Fantastic on the new Fantastic Four, I know that that's not like locked in or official, but whenever I heard that, I was just thinking, I was curious to see him in a serious role because I had only ever seen him in comedic roles. He plays the character of Jack Ryan amazing. He does it better than any one of the actors that's ever played him before in any one of the movies. He definitely beats out Ben Affleck playing that role. They just started their motorcycle.
What the fuck?
What?
You didn't hear that noise?
Yeah, that's someone mowing at my house.
Oh, okay. But that is my number one. It's a really, really good show. If you've ever been interested in those kind of movies, I would say similar movies would be, of course, any one of the Jack Ryan movies that have been out. But if you're a fan of any of the Mission Impossible films, or any of the Tom Clancy movies, it is a really good storyline, and they do really well on keeping you involved with the characters. I definitely recommend it, though. It's on Amazon Video.
Cool. All right. So I'm not going to get as long-winded on my answers like you. Nothing wrong with that. I'm just was telling you that. For me, what?
I was prepared.
Yeah. It's good. I just don't have that much to say. Watch the freaking shows if you want. If not, I don't know what else to tell you. Number 5 for me is The Runaways from Marvel it's on Hulu. It's a really good show. It's about a group of kids who are runaways. It's Marvel, so obviously there's kids with powers and other junk and stuff, and you just gotta watch the show. I mean, I really don't know what else to say about it. But there's a freaking dinosaur on the show, so that's pretty cool. So that's a good sell. I mean, I don't know what else to say about it. It's a good show. It's good. I didn't know that I could be that interested in it, mainly because I didn't know anything about the Runaways till I started watching it. But I gave it a go just because James Marsters was in it, and so I was wanting to see it there. And the first season I didn't like as much as the second season, but the second season was really good, and I'm interested to see where it goes in the next one. Number 4 for me is Stranger Things. I think I put it on this list at 4 because the second season's not as strong as the other ones, and so but if they just made like season 1 and season 3, I'd probably have put it better than 4. But it's a really good show. Of course, it's a real popular show, so I mean, I'm sure that if you haven't seen Stranger Things by now, you must be living under a rock, or you don't have Netflix. I don't know. Number 3 for me is 13 Reasons Why. I think I like the show so much because it's like a mystery, and it's very dramatic, and I like a good mystery, and I'm currently watching the season 3, which just came out last week, like midway at least, I think, through that. So it's a good show. Zach, did you finish that, by the way?
On episode 6, I think.
Yeah, that's the one I'm on. Was on episode 6. Yeah. So
Probably finish it tonight.
by the time that you listen to the show, we're recording on Wednesday today. So if you're listening to it on Thursday, I'm probably past that. So, but it's a really good show. What did you say? You're probably done with it?
Yeah, by Thursday.
Number 2 for me is Daredevil. There's a lot of Marvel shows on Netflix, RIP. And I almost went with Punisher, but I've only seen one season of Punisher. I haven't seen the second season still. But Daredevil was the show that first started it, and I think really Vincent D'Onofrio, or whatever his last name, how you say it, as the Kingpin, is just probably the best Marvel villain, I think, that's ever been on screen. Of any type of Marvel movie, even not just MCU movie, but of all time, any Marvel movie, any superhero movie, really. He's just so good as the Kingpin, and he just makes that show so amazing. And I hope we could somehow I hope it's able to get more, because if I could take any character from all the Marvel Netflix shows, it would probably be him. If to bring into the MCU, please let it happen. Number 1 for me, though, it's people. I didn't even expect this to be on my list, but whenever I saw it, as I said earlier, like I had to look up some shows because I only had the 4, and then I needed another one, and I ended up putting this as number 1 on my list, and that's American Vandal.
Yeah.
American Vandal is such an amazing mockumentary show. It's also like a mystery too that I loved, and I remember watching it the first couple episodes or so of the first season, and I think I was like halfway through the first season when I told you about it, Zach, and I was like, dude, you have to watch this show. And I was like, this show is going to suck you in so good. It is, oh my god, it is such a good show. I'm so saddened that Netflix canceled it after the second season, because it was it's such a good show. I mean, if you don't know what it is, and this is going to be a weird sentence to say, but all I had spent most of my time watching the first season, I was just sitting there going, who drew the dicks? Oh my god, who drew the dicks? Anyways.
Put that at the end of the episode, or at the beginning of the episode.
I'm good, guys. I'm good. Such a good show. God, it's such a good show. Super Netflix cancels everything. I love.
Hardly any shows get past 3 seasons. It's crazy.
They canceled. I almost put Everything Sucks on here, but I only got 1 season before Netflix canceled it, so I didn't want to put it on the list because I feel like I should have to watch 2 seasons before I put something on a list.
Yeah.
Go ahead, though.
All right. So the first one, I don't even know if you guys have heard of it. It's a Netflix original.
So you're number 5?
Yeah, my number 5. I was looking through shows one day, a couple years ago, and I found this, and it's called Between. It's with Jeanette McCurdy, who plays iCarly's friend in iCarly. She's the main, one of the main people, but it's sort of similar to Under the Dome, kind of. It's except they don't get trapped with the dome, but the government seals off their town, and because there's this deadly disease that once you turn 22, you just automatically die, and so they seal off the town, and so it's kind of people are creating their different groups or whatever and stuff, and it only got 2 seasons. which sucks because the second season ended on a cliffhanger. But um, but online it says it never officially got canceled, but it never officially like the last season was in 2016 though, but it never officially like got canceled. So I don't
So
know.
they were like, weren't we supposed to go to work today? And they're like, no, man, we're not working. They were off today, and they just never went back.
What happened is the show turned 22.
I see.
So it's been out for 22 years, but we just didn't know it.
Is there a
Or they got the 22 episodes, and then it just never came back.
What's the joke, Ryan? Your jokes are above our heads.
Right. It was just a joke.
Oh,
All right, shut up, Brian. All right, and then number 4, I put a series of unfortunate events. I never really got into the books. I think I read like maybe the first one. But yeah, it's a pretty good show, and like Neil Patrick Harris like nails the count, which like he's probably the best part of the show. And then that only got 3 seasons, but they actually finished the story and actually went through all the books because each 2 episodes is a book, I think. Yeah, each 2 episodes was a book. It was like whatever the name of the book was, and it was part 1, and then whatever the name of the book was, part 2, and then I went through 3 seasons. But yeah, that was a pretty good show. And then number 3, I also put 13 Reasons Why. I don't know. It's just I think it's a pretty good show. I like the mystery aspect of it. Stuff like that. Pretty much everything Nick said. And then number 2, Nick watched this show too. It's Love by the executive producer on the show was Judd Apatow. And Love, I don't know, that was like an amazing show. It was like I think it lasted 3 seasons. It was like 3 or 4, I forget.
I think it was 3.
It was a romantic comedy, but it was just a love story from beginning to end, and like it was probably one of the best love stories like I've ever seen, really.
I completely forgot about that show, but it was such a good show.
Yeah, it was such a good show. Like I was so mad when it ended, but like it ended on a good note. Like there wasn't like a cliffhanger really or anything, and they told the story they wanted to, and so I might actually go watch that again eventually. But it was just a really good show. And then
You should watch that show, Ryan.
Love.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Love. It's on Netflix.
romantic comedy. It's by Judd Apatow, who did like
Knocked Up, 40-Year-Old Virgin.
4-Year-Old Virgin stuff. And my number 1 is Daredevil, which just like Nick was saying, like Vincent who plays I'm not even gonna try and say his last name, who plays Wilson Fisk is like one of the best villains in Marvel who's ever been on screen. Like if they could take him and put him in the MCU, that would be like the on-screen MCU. That would be the best thing ever. But yeah, that's my number 1, and I do have an honorable mention, which is
What's you with these and these honorable mentions every week now?
I don't know. It's fun to get an honorable mention sometime. I didn't really put this on the list because it's not technically like it's a mini series, so it's not like a series. It's 11/22/63, which is a Stephen King miniseries where James Franco has to go back in time. James Franco plays whatever the character's name is. Goes back in time. He has to try and save John F. Kennedy from getting assassinated. And it's a really good series, I think. But it's only 1 season because that's what it was supposed to be, which is a miniseries. So
If you wanna honorable mention that'll make you mad at Netflix for canceling it, go watch Everything Sucks, the one season they have of it on Netflix. After that ends, you'll definitely be pissed off at Netflix.
That was a good show.
God, it was such a good show. That was such a bad thing when I had to send that thing to you of how they canceled it. Anyways, cool. Cool. Yes. Really bad cliffhangers. All right, guys, let's move on to though. So this past weekend was a very special time for the Blind Bandit crew, as for the first time, we got to, for just a little bit of the time, we got to actually play a PS4 game kind of together for just a little bit. And it was the Call of Duty Modern Warfare Alpha that was exclusive to the PS4 this past weekend, August 23rd through the 25th. I played some on the 23rd. Friday, me and Zach did, and then we all played some on the Saturday, and then I think, Ryan, you played some on Sunday morning too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so it was just one mode. It was 2 versus 2. It's their new 2 versus 2 gunfight mode that's going to be in Modern Warfare when the gun comes out in like October the 25th or something like that. And so you got to play this mode. And I just wanted to get everybody's thoughts on it. Just you guys' thoughts on this gunfight 2 versus 2 mode. This mode is what I think personally revolutionizes the first-person shooter again in a different way.
Yeah, it gave a lot of people something that they were asking for, and that was one of the biggest negatives to games that have been big on the market, like PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds, Ring of Elysium, and Apex Legends, is that the matches take way too long. This was just so rapid pace. It was just like, when you're in the match, it's pow pow, pow, like it's quick.
Yeah.
Each round in the match is guaranteed to be short one way or another, because even if you don't get the kills, if you guys are still trying to seek each other out, it quickly goes into a overtime capture the flag mode. And it's just so, I mean, I could easily see how that becomes the next big online addiction, because it is just so rapid pace that, I mean, even if you've only got a short time to play and you just want to play one match, the match is not that long at all.
It's about 5 to 6 minutes. I mean, it's an average match. Just a little add-on to what it is. It's 2 versus 2, you and a teammate and versus 2 other people. And each time you play these rounds, and it's the first team to win 6 rounds. And it's basically, if you kill a person, that person's dead. So, and then you basically got to eliminate both of the people on the other team. At the beginning of the round, there's no weapons on the map at all. You start with a loadout. Each round, the loadout is different, and everybody has that same loadout. And you do, what is it? Is it two rounds with the same loadout? Right?
Yeah, 2 rounds. And then they did add the mode we didn't try, which there was another mode they added. I forget what it was called, but you start out with a pistol, and then
it's OSP or something, OSD or something like that.
They actually changed it. You start out with fist, and there's a pistol right in front of you, so you can, you can go straight melee if you just run up on them.
And basically, they made it like Blackout, where they made it where the guns are on the map.
Yeah.
Yeah, different spots. The arenas are really small, like a small indoor paintball field, basically.
Yep.
One of them looks like a legit small outdoor paintball field. I mean, it's very tiny. I mean, in most of those rounds, they can last. Sometimes the rounds could last like 2 seconds. As soon as the round starts, you can, like, if you got snipers, you can pop those other 2 people off real quick. I mean, it's very fast paced. It's something different. I averaged it out, and you can play about 4 of those rounds compared to a one blackout match. You can play like 3 of those at least compared to a normal team death match. It's just so fast paced. I love it so much, and it doesn't. I never felt like it. There was like one match you could win, like all of them, and the next match you could lose, and it was like it didn't feel like there was. I didn't feel like I was, like horrible at it. Even like if one match we'd like lose or something like that, teamed up with different people, you guys, and it didn't feel like we were bad at it. It's just a lot of luck involved in some spots,
Yeah.
And I mean, some of it is skill and at a point, but a lot of it, there's a lot of luck too. And it just so happens, it just depends on which way you go and stuff like this, and who sees who first. I mean, it's really hard to describe until you play it, but it's revolutionary in my mind. I mean, I just literally since then, all week long, when me and Zach have played other games, literally he would be like, "Wish we could play 2 versus 2." Like, I mean, it's very upsetting to have to wait until October, but luckily the beta is coming out in September the 12th, that weekend, and then the next weekend, if you pre-order the game, you can play in the beta, which I've already got going. So I'm pretty excited about that. So it's great. It's great if you're looking for something different in a shooting game. This mode right here, this gunfight mode, is definitely something to look into. So I definitely recommend
it. It sold me.
I've never been this excited for a Call of Duty game in a really long time.
And especially the fact that it's going to be cross-platform. You can play it on any game service that it's out on. You can still play with your friends who are playing on a different one. I'll be getting it for PC just simply because of streaming purposes. It's much easier to stream off my PC than it is off of the PS4. Yeah, I mean, it's that interaction alone of having it on all platforms, that alone made it worth the buy to me.
Yeah. Zach, what you think about it more? You have anything else to add?
Yeah, not really. You pretty much said all my thoughts on it. I've never really been excited for a Call of Duty game. Like, even with Black Ops 4, I didn't really know what Blackout was and all that, but I really liked that, and I've never really been to Call of Duty that much, especially the multiplayer aspect of it. But after playing this, I think this is probably the most excited I've been for a Call of Duty game.
Yeah. And it's exciting that Ryan's going to be able to get it on PC, and we'll still be able to play with him on our PS4.
Yeah, so you just add each other on the Activision account, and then you can just play.
Yeah. Awesome. Exciting. Yeah, definitely. As I said, go pre-order Modern Warfare. I mean, that's the game they need to get this holiday season. For sure. All right, guys. What was you going to say, Brian?
I just said faux show.
Faux show. All right, so this was just announced this morning, and normally I don't take on morning announcements, but I literally it was announced super early this morning, and I was able to. I went ahead and changed something because I didn't have much the notes besides this alpha, and then something else that I didn't even want on there. I was just trying to get something else besides D23 stuff. But so Telltale, that gaming company that went away from us last year. I believe I said RIP to it last episode or the episode before that. And was talking about the game, this the games. Oh, because it was when I was talking about the superhero games, and I said Batman Telltale series.
Yeah.
And I said RIP. Anyway, they're coming back. They're being revived. They're having a revival. It's a new company, and they have licenses for The Wolf Among Us and Batman. So I'm super excited because I said that I really wanted to see where Batman went for a season 3, and now we're going to get that. And I'm also a huge Wolf Among Us fan from based off of the Fables graphic novel. And the first season of it was good, and it was supposed to be the next game to come from Telltale after the Walking Dead final season, which was the last game that Telltale put out. And so super excited that we're going to now get that season 2. But Zach, are you super excited about this news as well? Or?
Yeah, I'm pretty excited to see what, other than the Batman and Wolf Among Us, I'm pretty excited to see what else they'll come out with.
Yeah, I mean, they've had a lot of different ones.
Even though they haven't announced it or anything like that, it would seem to me that one of their games that's going to come out too is since Borderlands 3 is coming out, and they did tell the Telltale the Tells from the Borderlands game. It would make sense to me that they might get to do another one of those too.
Yeah.
It's a huge franchise, and their Borderlands game actually sold really well. So we might see another one of those in the works soon.
Yeah. They've also done Game of Thrones. They've done Guardians of the Galaxy. I would like to see them do what now?
Walking Dead.
Yeah, Walking Dead, which we've already talked about. I would like to see a Star Wars one. Something Star Wars related.
Yeah.
That would be interesting. Because I was thinking, like, they did the Guardians of the Galaxy, that's Marvel, picking up a different Disney thing and going with Star Wars. That'd be pretty cool.
A Stranger Things one might be interesting.
Yeah, that one would be cool, too.
But I guess we'll just see what happens. Hopefully they don't go under again.
Yeah, hopefully not.
Yeah.
All right, guys. So we said this earlier. D23 was D23. I don't know how to really say it. I'm not huge in a Disney fan club or anything. But it was this past weekend, and lots of announcements were happening. Lots of things. And so we're going to hit you with some movie stuff, and then we're gonna go to Disney Plus. But right here, we're the movies first. And first announcement was Black Panther 2 was announced, and it will be coming out May the 6th, 2022.
So far away.
I know it is so far away. No information has been given about the movie. Rumors have pointed, of course, to Namor, and unlike that article that's titled that said that Namor was confirmed. When you read the article, it had nothing about Namor in the article. Namor hasn't been confirmed yet. But I'm excited for Black Panther 2. Is everyone else excited for Black Panther 2? And is there a villain that I don't know any Black Panther villains? So I've always thought they should do Namor. That was before they name dropped. They didn't basically name drop, but they did that alluding to stuff in Endgame. So I said this before that Namor would be cool. So I don't know anybody else as far as Black Panther villains that.
I know he's fought like the Masters of Evil, and the Serpent Society would be pretty cool.
Huh.
I'm trying to rack my brain here and remember, but I know that there was a massive storyline with Storm
Yeah,
in the
they got married, didn't they, in the comic books?
yeah, and there was I could be wrong about this, but I believe I remember a storyline that involved like her tribe and his tribe going to war with each other. But and I mean, now that they have the rights to the X-Men, they could possibly. But
They probably won't do that until they introduce like the X-Men. I doubt.
Yeah.
I know Ulysses Claw was like one of his arch enemies, but he died in the first one. So.
And
oh,
Killmonger is like his other, and he's not living anymore either. So
um, um, Craven and Baron Zemo were two of his big arch nemesis in the comics.
but Craven is with Sony, and Baron Zemo's in the Falcon and Winter Soldier show.
Yeah, and then also Claw.
Yeah, which he's dead.
Yeah, Ulysses. Yeah.
Yep. So who knows, man? I mean, I think it's pretty obvious that they're going to go with Namor at this point.
Yeah.
Here's a question though I have. Do you think that maybe we were going to get more of announcements? Because originally, when Comic-Con came up, they said that they were going to do Phase 4 and Phase 5. We were going to get 5-year timeline, right?
Yeah.
And then they said they had so much to talk about in Phase 4 that they just switched it to Phase 4 and they were saving Phase 5. And then there was a bunch of rumors of Phase 5 going to be announced at D23, like the entire Phase 5. But the only announcement we got was Black Panther 2. Do you think that maybe they didn't announce anything else because the Sony and Disney deal fell out? And so now they're having to change some stuff for Phase 5, and that's why the only thing we got was Black Panther 2.
I absolutely think that is the reason why.
I mean, it just totally makes sense because I feel like since they're having discussions still, that until like I feel like they're having to like, I think that after Black Panther 2 was going to be something that had to involve Spider-Man or something like that. Maybe a type of Avengers movie was coming up soon after that. And so somehow they've had to basically rework that stuff so they couldn't announce anything else.
I absolutely think that is the reason. I have a really good feeling that they were going to use Spider-Man as a tie-in for the Fantastic Four and for the new Avengers, and it completely makes sense to me.
Yeah. Do you agree? Do you agree the same, Zach?
Sorry, I wasn't listening.
Wow. Do you think that they were going to announce more for Phase 5 at D23, but had to just say Black Panther 2 because of the Sony and Disney deal falling through?
Yeah, I think they still like, I don't know, like, I think they might still come to an agreement. Disney and Sony, and some of their stuff that they have planned is probably kind of Spider-Man and all that related. So they're probably trying to work out a deal, and then
because if they don't work out a deal, they're going to have to probably change some stuff.
Yeah, well, we'll see though, because I mean, I know they both have something the other wants. So I mean, I think it would just be smarter to work together, to be honest.
Yeah. They have to figure it out soon because when is Venom 2 supposed to start filming? Like in November or some shit like this? So, I mean, you need to figure it out before then because, I mean, if you're not going to have Spider-Man in the MCU, like that deal's like not going to be done at all and he's just going to be with Sony, he has to be in Venom 2. Like, you have to start tying him in to everything else.
Yeah, if you're going to pull that property, you might as well.
Yeah, you're going to have to go ahead and connect him to Venom 2. Like, it has to be done. Like, if you're not going to be in the MCU, like and you're going to do your own little thing with Sony, you got to, which we talked about, I think, on, was it last week's episode, episode before that? I mean, it has to be done. I mean, so that's probably why nobody's speaking about anything. And so, and that every time they ask Tom Holland about stuff, he always gives they 2 times now he's gave the same exact answer, like he was reading it from a script. So, let's move on to Kit Harington, or you can just call him Jon Snow. I didn't even know he had an actual name besides Jon Snow. He's joining the Eternals, and he's going to be playing a character who's also known as the Black Knight. I not a huge. I have a. I didn't like Game of Thrones, so I don't really care one way or another. But Ryan, you're the Game of Thrones guy here. Were you excited about him joining the Eternals?
I think that Kit Harington was good for the role of Jon Snow, but I'm not a huge fan of him as just an actor in general. It's cool that he's going to get a chance to, spread his wings a little bit on this, but my first opinion of it was they literally could have picked anybody else. Once again, I've only ever seen Kit Harington in one role, so I don't know how he'll do, but that was just my opinion on it whenever I heard about the casting.
Yeah. I don't know anything else that he's been in.
Exactly.
Oh, I don't know. I saw somebody like freaking out about it on Twitter, saying that he needs a starring role, and I was like, why? Like, because he was just Jon Snow? Like, he deserves his own movie? Like, what what do you mean he needs like his own movie? And someone was like, he's going to be Black Knight, and they're like, he doesn't deserve to be in an ensemble movie. And people are like, okay, what else has he done besides Game of Thrones? Like, what do you mean? Freaking Angelina Jolie's in the movie. Like, she's done tons of crap.
Yeah. I mean, it's only going to boost his career, period,
And he's going to be playing a hero, which, if he's going to end up being Black Knight in this movie, it's not the last we've seen of him. We're not just going to see him in the Eternals movie.
Yeah.
Something's going to happen where he comes in the present day.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Because they are immortal beings, and they've already said, Kevin Feige has already said that the Eternals are going to play a crucial role in Phase 5. So,
know much about this Black Knight character?
A little bit. I don't think in the comics he's not an Eternal, but yeah, like I think the original Black Knight actually is just a mortal human who is like around like the King Arthur era, but
the person's name that the character that he's playing is not the original Black Knight. It's like the second or the third one.
Yeah, I know. I think the original Black Knight is like just a regular like knight from like King Arthur, but on IMDb it says he's playing Dane Whitman.
Yeah. That's the second or third Black Knight.
Yeah. I don't really know too much about him. I do have the Black Knight action figure, and it comes with all 3 heads. You can change it to whichever Black Knight you want.
Oh, look at that! You already have a Jon Snow action figure.
Yeah, because I collect the Marvel Legends, but yeah, so
cool. Well, I don't think we have anything else to add to that. So the next thing that we have, I didn't know that this live action movie we talked about live action Disney movies not too long ago, and I didn't know that I don't remember knowing they were doing this movie, but apparently they're making a Cruella movie, like in the same vein as Maleficent.
Yeah, it's her origin story.
Yeah, so she's being played by Emma Stone. I don't know, guys, if you guys saw the image that they released from that or not. And just from that and the words that were said, this movie is supposed to have a very punk rock like feel to it, and you could definitely tell that in the way her hair is and stuff. It's set in the 70s of London. I don't really know what to think about it though. I don't know. I mean, I like Emma Stone. I don't know if I really care enough.
I don't know. It's kind of weird. Like, I mean, I thought even Maleficent was like a weird thing to do, but
they're making a sequel to that movie coming out like next month, right?
Coming out pretty soon. Yeah, so I don't know, but I guess we'll just see. Is that coming to theaters or?
Yeah, it's theaters. All this stuff we're talking about right now is theaters stuff.
Okay, so I mean, I don't know. Like, I don't know what they'll do. Like, I know it's supposed to be like an origin story, like before the Dalmatians get the. I don't know.
But she was looks like she has some Dalmatians on a leash though, in that picture. So.
Yeah, which is weird because that is the whole story of 101 Dalmatians, was that she was a designer who made outfits out of fur, and whenever she saw the Dalmatians for the first time, it was like, oh my God, I have to have spots. I've never had spots before.
Now, I thought 101 Dalmatians took place during the 60s too, so. I didn't know.
Apparently this is supposed to be, it's supposed to be picking up from the movie, not the cartoon.
So the live action movies?
Yeah.
Like with Glenn Close?
Yeah, she's supposed to be playing a younger Glenn Close. That's what I heard or read. That it is not it's not a prequel to the animated films. It's a prequel to the live action.
Well, I mean, that makes more sense, I guess, because it's not animated, so.
Yeah.
I just don't know why she's getting a movie of her whenever there's already a 101 Dalmatians live action movie. Basically, two. Wasn't there two of them?
Yep.
And I don't know why, because Maleficent, there's not a Sleeping Beauty live action movie.
Yeah, but like all that kind of happens during the film, sort of, I think. But it's like from Maleficent's point of view.
Yeah. So are we gonna? If the Cruella movie would have to be something completely different then, because unless Ryan's information is just completely wrong, because if it was being a prequel to the Glenn Close movies, then it's going to be a completely different story.
Or maybe we'll have it wrong, and it'll just be like similar to like Maleficent, where it's just like happening during that same time, but like I don't know.
Right. So basically, seeing the 101 Dalmatians movie from her point of view. Interesting. I don't know. I don't really care.
Young, so she's not old.
Yeah.
So
I just found this out. It is 100% a prequel to the live action movies, so much so that Glenn Close is an executive producer of this movie.
Huh.
Well, I just found out. Did Disney call you and tell you that?
Mickey called him and was like, Hey, Ryan, it's Mickey.
I read the official press release.
It's Mickey. I have all the answers.
Cool. Reading press releases. That's a smart idea. That's better than waiting on Mickey to call you. All right, let's move on for this because I really don't care. All right, guys. So we got some new footage from the Rise of Skywalker movie, and it's causing a ruckus. That's a good word. We'll go with that. It's causing a ruckus on the internet because in this new footage, it seems like we're going to see a dark side Rey in the movie, and that's what everybody's losing their minds over because Rey looks like she's going to dark side. And what is this? Is this actually Rey? Is this actually happening? And she's got a double-bladed lightsaber that kind of like it was like a switchblade lightsaber. That was pretty cool. I was like, that's a cool thing. Phew. I was like, cool.
Watching the new footage right now because I haven't seen it yet.
Oh yeah. Ryan, did you get a chance to look at that?
Yeah. I to be honest, I'm not sure if Star Wars is salvageable, but
I think it's only salvageable with their TV shows. It's not like
Yes.
that's why they're bringing the Mandalorian and the Kenobi series instead of a movie. Like that's why they're bringing it all to Disney Plus because they're not making any money off of it as theatrical films. So they're just bringing it to Disney Plus.
yeah. I mean, of course it's Star Wars, so I'm gonna go see it. But
You have to go see the end of the whole saga. Like, I mean, you just got it.
All right. I'm wondering if this is going to be actually happening or if this is just like a vision or something like that. And if it is actually happening, like this is dark side, I want to say that she's being possessed by the Emperor. That is my that's my guess there. Cuz I don't see her going actually dark side cuz I don't know what she would be going to dark side for. You know? There's nothing there. There's no motivation to just get her to switch to dark side.
Damn, that lightsaber she had was badass.
Isn't it though? It's like a switchblade double blade one. It's like I was like, whoa. So I think it could be held. I think that could be held where it's like not instead of like it going up and down, like they're both out, and you could hold it like on the handle, and you can use it like a U.
I'm back. My Skype app crashed.
Oh, I didn't even know you left.
Yeah, no, I was actually in the middle of talking. I was like, hello. What? I
was just talking about Rey, how I think that maybe it's either A, not happening, or B, said that she's probably being possessed by the Emperor. And then Zach talked about how cool the lightsaber was.
Yeah. I'm trying to. What is the name of Solo's son? I can't remember.
You mean Kylo Ren? His real name, Ben.
Okay. So it's making me think that a lot of the fan theories about Kylo, actually being the hero, could be coming true, because especially with the rise of Skywalker kind of thing, because he is technically a Skywalker, because he is Leia's son. It absolutely could be that they're switching sides as far goes what we know.
What would be her motivation to go to dark side though?
I mean, she's fighting with anger. She's been fighting with anger the whole time.
Emotions, because that's all
She
it
would
takes.
she would have to find something out about her parents and who they actually are.
Yeah.
That would make her that angry. Like it would have to be like something way out of left field.
Or
Maybe
that
father-
the Jedi killed her family.
Something. It would have to be something crazy.
Yeah.
Also, if you notice in that trailer, though, in that footage, C-3PO's eyes were red. So there's a theory going online that why I said the Emperor possessing, that the Emperor first possesses C-3PO and then possesses Rey through C-3PO. And that's what the red eyes are for.
Oh.
But I don't know. I mean, it's just if you notice, C-3PO's never had red eyes.
Yeah.
So it's either A, something he's being possessed by something, or B, it's not C-3PO.
I did not notice that, but I mean, I will. I mean, of course, I'm going to go back and rewatch the trailer now. Yeah, I feel like they're switching sides.
Yeah. Who knows? Who knows? We'll just have to wait and see. Because, like I said, if you think about this, though, also, we do realize that this company, Lucasfilm or whatever, is owned by Disney. And what are Disney good at doing? Making fake footage in their trailers. So,
Yeah.
just saying. Just throwing it out there. Marvel ain't the only company owned by Disney. So is Star Wars. So, I mean, wouldn't be surprised if something happens that doesn't happen in the movie or something completely different. So I don't trust anything in trailers anymore. I wasn't even gonna watch this, but I just wanted to see that lightsaber. So, I just heard that Rey was like, it was all over the place. People were just, I mean, it was hard not to see that Rey was looking evil and stuff and turned into the dark side and said she has a cool double-bladed lightsaber. And I said, double-bladed lightsaber? I have to see this. That's how you win me over. You get a double-bladed lightsaber. You show me some shades of Darth Maul, I'm gonna be hooked. Anybody else got anything to add to this footage, though?
No.
I think you said no.
Yawning and all at the same time.
Yeah.
I mean, they got to bring balance to the Force, man.
They got to bring balance to the Force, and we're going to bring balance to the Force by moving on to Disney Plus. And we're starting with all this. Everything else from now on here in this conversation, it's going to be stuff that's on Disney. That's going to be on Disney Plus. And not all of it's going to be available on November 12th, but some of it will be. And the first thing that we're going to talk about, speaking of balance of the Force, is The Mandalorian. And the trailer for The Mandalorian was finally released, and we got to see that. We got to see the poster. It will be available. The Mandalorian will be available on November 12th when Disney Plus starts. I don't know about you guys, but this is probably be what I'm watching day one. This will be the first thing I watch on Disney Plus. Will be The Mandalorian. I'm super excited about it. I like Mandalorians, Mandalores. The famous one, Boba Fett. And so I'm really excited about it. I like bounty hunting. That universe.
In real life, you like bounty hunting?
Yeah, I like that seedy.
You like Dog the Bounty Hunter?
Yeah, I'm like Dog the Bounty Hunter. No, I like that part of the Star Wars universe that we haven't seen. That gritty, seedy, street level Star Wars universe that we've seen very little of, and we're gonna be able to get that in this. And I'm ready for it. I'm excited for it, and so I'm
It looked very Knights of the Old Republic-ish.
Yes, it did. And
And
God, it looks beautiful.
they released a timeline of it, and it's supposed to take place after the fall of the Empire, and before,
Force Awakens.
Force Awakens.
Yeah, it's between Return of the Jedi episode 6 and episode 7.
Okay.
Yeah.
And, another one you didn't put on here either was the Rogue One series they announced.
Oh yeah, well we can talk about that after this. But quick thing on the Mandalorian though. Here's a theory that that's gone around before the trailer, and since listening to it, they've said Jon Favreau has said that this is not Boba Fett. Okay, this is not Boba Fett. He didn't crawl out of the Sarlacc pit, and this is not him. Okay. However, he said that a long time ago, which I thought was BS back then. And now seeing this trailer, we still don't know who the Mandalorian is. Okay. But apparently they have all said that there is a big twist in the show. Oh my God, a big twist in the show? I wonder what that is.
I already know what it is.
What
do you think it is? What do you think this twist is?
Jango Fett never got his head chopped off. That's what it is.
I have a very good feeling that it is Darth Maul.
You think it's Darth Maul?
Yeah.
Have you seen anything from the Clone Wars?
Yes, and I've like before that fan theory came out, I had already made the connection.
I don't think it's Darth Maul. I think it's Boba Fett. I think that's what the twist is.
Wait,
either that or the Darth Maul is gonna be the one who died in the Sarlacc pit.
No, I think that he climbed out of in the expanded universe, which is no longer canon. There is a comic book where he actually did climb out of the Sarlacc pit.
The thing I never got about that is the dude has a jetpack. How do you fall into a pit?
I don't know. Did it get disabled before he was pushed in there? I don't remember. I'm gonna have to go watch Return of the Jedi. I don't remember. I don't know.
That always annoyed me as a kid.
I don't think his jetpack could actually fly. It just made him like glide, really. Like it wasn't like a jetpack that could like.
It made him jump better.
Yeah, it just made him like jump higher.
Okay.
I don't know.
So my first theory is that it's Boba Fett, but my backup theory is that the Mandalorian's a woman.
All right, hear me out. Hear me out here.
Okay.
I think the Mandalorian is Yoda's youngest stepson.
Well,
I think it's Darth Maul, who we find out is Yoda's stepson.
And Yoda's stepson is named Yondu.
Yondu.
And his best friend was Boba Fett, which is Boba Fett's sister.
And then they have a dog named Boba.
And then Scooby-Doo takes his mask off.
All right, moving on. I didn't put the Rogue One series because I didn't really know what to say about it, except they're making a Rogue One series, because they had already said it. They didn't add any new information to it.
Oh.
It had already been said that they were doing that Rogue One series with what's that dude's name? And then that droid.
The guy who played Apocalypse.
No. No, that's the guy who plays Poe.
Speaking of droids and the Mandalorian, what's his face who directs Thor is gonna play the droid in that.
Oh yeah, that's true.
I can't pronounce his name, and I'm not gonna even try. So.
Condi something.
It's Taki Wataki.
Wataki.
Wataki. Takiwaki.
But
I also heard, which is this is aside from anything, but I heard that he's rumored to be up for a role in the Suicide Squad, but that has nothing neither here nor there. But yeah, I didn't put the Rogue One series because they didn't add anything new because they came out on stage. Alan Tudyk, who does the voice of the droid from Rogue One, and the guy who plays his partner or whatever, who the series is about, and they came out on stage about it, and they asked if they could talk about the show and to tell them what the show's title was, and Kathleen Kennedy said that they weren't allowed to. So that was all that is. They're like, no, you're not allowed. And so they're like, oh, okay. And then they just left. I was like, that's stupid.
Hi. Bye.
So we can't talk about anything. Good job, guys. Excellent work. You guys keep up the good work. We just wanted to let you know we're here. Okay.
All right, next on the list is The Lady and the Tramp.
So as we said, they're doing live action movies based off of Disney properties, and some of them are going to be Disney Plus exclusive, and it seems that's going to be like the lesser popular franchises, such as like your Lion King, your Aladdin went to theaters. Well, your Lady and the Tramp, which is not as popular of a franchise, is their live action version is going straight to Disney Plus. So instead of going straight to DVD now, like we used to say, oh, that's going straight to DVD, we're saying, oh, that's going straight to Disney Plus. It's a new phrase, kids. New phrase used by today's kids. So straight to Disney Plus. We'll never be able
when I don't know, that trailer kind of freaks me out. Like they're using real dogs, and then when fucking the tramp talked, I was like almost cried because it was so scary.
They changed to like CGI mouth.
Yeah, like, are you sure this isn't like a horror film? Like, fuck, like, that scared the fuck out of me. Like, I don't even know if I can watch it anymore.
It was like very Babe Pig in the City.
Like, they were like a real dog, and all of a sudden it's like CGI mouth moving. I'm like, what the fuck?
No, like it was worse than Babe Pig in the City. I mean, it was like Babe and Pig in the City actually was. It was okay compared to the way this was. I mean, if you watch the trailer on this one, right, the first time that the tramp talked, I was like Zach said, I was like, oh God! I was like, Jesus Christ, what the heck's wrong with his face? Like it was really strange. I don't know what it was. I'm not a huge fan of Lady and the Tramp anyway, so I didn't really care one way or another. But then after watching the trailer, I didn't really care more about it. I don't care to see it. I'm not gonna watch it.
I probably will just give it a watch just to see, but I mean, the trailer just freaked me out, so I don't know. But it was just
It's
scary.
like I feel like it was made by those people that make all the Air Bud spin-off movies. About the little Air Buds kids, the like Santa buddies and all that stuff.
Oh yeah, that was weird. Like I loved Air Bud as a kid, and then like Air Bud 1 and 2, and then all of a sudden they go to like Air Buddies, and then like
No. They did more than Air Bud 1 and 2. They did like 3 or 4 of them with the original dog, and then they went to the kids.
They did 3 with the original dog. They did
that's it.
they did like first one was like soccer, and then they did football, and then baseball, I think, and then
No, he played basketball first.
basketball, whatever, I don't know. Basketball, soccer, and then I don't know.
Okay.
But,
I just got to see the Lady and the Tramp trailer for the first time. And whenever he peeks his head through the fence, and his eyes,
that's what we're talking about.
dude, his freaking eyes cut over, and he starts talking, and I was like, "What?"
That's what we were talking about. That's the moment. Like I would have literally just been better if instead of them talking, like whenever they talked, that they didn't move their mouths and they just used regular dogs and stuff the entire time. But whenever they spoke, their mouths and stuff didn't move.
Why you can't make it is impossible to make animal lips move like humans and it not look awkward.
Yeah, and that's what it reminds me of. Those stupid Airbus Bud spinoffs about those Air Buddies.
Air Buddies, and then they went to like what? When they go and save Christmas for Santa Claus and shit. Like,
Wasn't
what the
wasn't there a Space Bud where he
Yeah,
joined that?
Space. I think it's the kid. It was the kids one. The kids one. He talked. All the kids ones. All the kids ones with the Airbuds kids. The kids talk,
Yeah, but
and
Air Bud-
their mouths
Airbud-
move like that.
Airbud was a good movie, but whenever you start making them talk, what? I
Yeah,
didn't.
all
I
the
didn't,
spin-
I didn't
all
see.
the sequels were all good until they made it focused on his kids, and they started making all the dogs talk, and it made it something completely different. And go watch one of them. Don't wait till November 12th, okay? Then settle up with Disney Plus. I'm sure those will be on there. Hey guys, but Lady and the Tramp movie's coming out. In case anybody cares about it, that's what we were supposed to talk about. But let's just move on.
That trailer just ruined my day.
All right, so the next thing we're gonna move on to is called One Day at Disney. They released this trailer for this at D23. It's a documentary, a full length featured documentary that's gonna be put on the app, the Disney Plus. They're also going to be coming out with a 244-page book they can buy for home that goes along with it. It's about different people working at Disney World and different things for Disney. Like maybe they're making movies for Disney, maybe they draw for Disney, they work at the park doing this, they work as the park doing something else. You know, all these different things. I don't know if you guys watch each other or not. It's something I know me and Zach have spoke about whenever me and Zach first became friends. Our original plan when we were going to school at Full Sail, which is in Winter Park, Florida, but we were doing the online thing, but we were going to eventually transfer to the campus, which we never did. But we were eventually going to transfer the campus, and we wanted to get jobs at Disney. Because it was something.
I had an interview with them, a phone interview. Shit. Like I was trying to do the Disney college program, which you get a dorm and shit, and then you work in the park and all that. But I guess it never really panned out. But I didn't get.
But anyway, so I'm really excited about this documentary because of that. Because I've always thought about working for Disney as well. So I'm really excited about it, and what I've seen about it, I'm pretty excited about watching this documentary. And another thing that they're doing also after this is that they are doing like the following week they'll be putting out an episode. They're going to be putting out 52 of these episodes every week. They'll release a new one. So for a whole year they'll put out another One Day at Disney episode, and it's like each episode's like 4 to 7 minutes long and focuses on one person that works for Disney in a way, focuses on their story. So it's companion series to go along with the full length documentary, which I thought was super cool. So
Yeah, that's kind of dumb.
Did you say it was pretty dumb?
I'm just fucking with you. Yeah, I just wanted to ruin your moment.
I don't care. It doesn't ruin my moment because I'm still gonna watch it. So
I will only watch it if they do an episode on the musical janitor guy at Disney.
You should do one on one of the ghosts that are there, because I heard the park's haunted in some parts. So
they should do it on one of the ghosts. That would be hilarious. Just a whole episode devoted to a poltergeist.
The ghost of Depp.
They have like an interview, but the camera's showing nothing, and then they just like put subtitles.
Yep. The ghost of Johnny Depp, who still haunts the park to this day.
What? Johnny Depp?
Yeah. the ghost of Johnny Depp that haunts the park. Y'all don't know about that?
He has a ghost, but he's still alive.
That's because he's Johnny Depp.
All right,
It's just
moving
another
on.
role. It's just another role he plays. He also is a ghost. Moving on, though. Good job, Zach. Getting us on track. So they also announced, Zach alluded to this earlier, an Obi-Wan Kenobi series. It's something that's been heavily rumored, and we finally got confirmation of that. No information was been given, but it was probably the most exciting thing, I think, that was announced over the weekend. What was really excited was, and you can watch. They put this video online that you can see was Ian McGregor, who played Obi-Wan Kenobi in the prequel trilogy, got to come out and stuff, and got to say that, finally I get to say that we're doing something. He's literally been holding this secret for 5 years. This dude knew for 5 years that he was going to be playing Obi-Wan Kenobi again, and literally has said in like tons of interviews and stuff that he doesn't know anything about anything, and he's literally had to lie for 5 years.
Yeah,
I just felt so happy for him.
Like, I think it was originally rumored as like a movie or something.
Yeah, like I think that originally they were going to do a movie, and then I guess they changed it to a Disney Plus.
They realized they don't do that well in Star Wars, so they decided to move it all to Disney Plus.
I mean, his version of the character was the only really good thing out of the prequels.
Yeah. I just really I really like when shows get to. Why I like this idea better than it being a movie is that some stories I think are better told in long-term storytelling. And I really feel like there's more to take from the Obi-Wan Kenobi story, which I'm assuming this is going to be set in between episode 3 and episode 4. So who knows what's going to be involved in it. I really think that there's more to draw from that, and it's really could be told more longer than just a 2-hour long movie. So I like it whenever stuff gets put in a show now, because since we have now this, this level that I talked about earlier, this middle level blurred line between movies and television now, that you can have something that's, because normally you wouldn't want to see a movie become a television show, but now it's totally okay if a movie becomes a streaming original show, because it's going to be made in given the same love that a movie gets. I mean, how much of a budget that the Mandalorian get for one season? I can't remember, but it's like, millions of dollars. I can't remember the exact number of thing, but it was outrageous amount of money.
They're movie budgets, but they're TV shows.
Yeah, and so that's what I really like.
What I would really love to see, like, maybe they bring back Solo, but as a television series. I think that would be cool. Like, because I don't think they're gonna make another Solo, even with the kind of cliffhanger they had, because it didn't really do that well.
Right, they didn't do so well.
But I think if they brought it back as a Disney Plus show, I'm sure they could get the same actor and everything. That would be pretty cool if they kind of continued the story as a streaming series.
Yeah, that'd probably be a good idea to do as well. I didn't think about that, but now that you say that, it's a really good idea. So,
but Disney, if you're listening, please give us a Solo TV series, please. Like, I actually like Solo. I think it's like the hardcore fans didn't like Solo. But...
Well, it was never designed to be a Star Wars movie. It was supposed to be a Han Solo movie. And I think that's one of the biggest problems with the fans of Star Wars were like, this isn't a Star Wars movie. Well, duh, we told you that going into it.
Right.
Yeah. But also, Star Wars fans are the most fickle fans in the world, though. So, I mean, they're the most. They want one thing, and then you give them one other thing, and then they want something. They're like, no, we don't want that. We want something completely different. And be like, you said you didn't want that. So they flip flop a bunch.
Hey, Jar Jar Binks was the most promising character ever. All right.
He's actually the Emperor.
He was supposed to be.
Right.
I wish he would.
I don't know if that's been confirmed, but it's like a rumor that he was supposed to.
That's a good fan theory.
Yeah, it was like a fan theory that he was supposed to be the Emperor, but they changed it because nobody liked Jar Jar Binks.
I mean, they have Lucas on camera straight up saying that Jar Jar Binks is the center of all of this, and then the fans hated him so much.
Well, he really is, because he put Palpatine in power, and that's how we became the Empire.
Not only that, but in every scene of Episode 1 that Jar Jar Binks is in, his lips are moving to the dialogue of the characters around him. Jar Jar Binks is literally in control over everything that's happening.
Okay, we're getting off topic here. We're gonna move on here. I'm gonna skip that next one because there's no information about that. There's getting a Muppet Show on Disney Plus, but they didn't give any information. But if you like the Muppets, they're coming out with a new Muppet Show called Muppets Now.
We just had a Muppet Show like a couple years ago.
Yeah, it wasn't on ABC or something.
It was. I watched like the first episode.
Yeah. I think it got canceled.
Probably.
Moving on. Sharon Carter, also known as Agent 13, also known as the guy who, the girl who kissed Captain America, who then went on to marry her great aunt, is returning in Falcon and the Winter Soldier. So she will be joining also the Baron Zemo. So she hasn't been seen since Civil War.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. So it's pretty cool. I mean, I don't know exactly what role she'll play in the show, but it's always nice to get characters that we've already seen be brought back. Does anyone have anything to add to that?
I don't know. Maybe she'll talk about how she kissed her granddaddy and stuff like that.
Oh, who knows? Who knows?
All right. Fuck Sharon Carter. Let's see. WandaVision is to be a sitcom, bringing back Darcy from Thor and Agent Jimmy Woo.
Yeah, so let's start with the bring it back, because we were just talking about Sharon Carter. Darcy, who's played by, was her Kat Dennings? Was that her name, Ryan?
Yeah.
From Thor, she's coming back. Going to be in this WandaVision, and as we said, WandaVision is a sitcom, and it's set in the 1950s. And Zach has a theory about this. What was you telling me earlier about it?
Yeah, I was saying that this was probably part of the multiverse, so this isn't actually the main MCU timeline, and it's just an alternate reality, because that's the only thing that makes sense to me. Like, they're bringing Agent Jimmy Woo back, like, as the nosy neighbor, they said, and then they're bringing back Darcy, but they're like not playing like I'm sure they're probably playing their characters, but they're not like the same characters from like Ant-Man and Thor. So I'm pretty sure that this is probably the multiverse, and then it's supposed to lead into Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. So I'm sure something happens where Wanda leaves the sitcom world and comes to the wherever Doctor Strange is, and they meet up, and it's not like the actual Wanda from that we know, and I think that's the only way they could probably bring Vision back.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Maybe that's what happens. Who knows?
Who knows?
And with it, that Vision, if that's true, that Vision would be a human at that point, right? Probably. So if they brought this human Vision, that would be, because in the comics, Vision and Scarlet Witch have a child, Wiccan, and it would be kind of weird in the current MCU for them to end up having a child. And I've always thought that next Avengers was something that they're going to lead into, which I've talked about before. And so it would make sense if you had the human Vision from that universe, and that's how you get the child of Wiccan.
yeah.
I mean, that would be like the only way, because I mean, how are you going to have a kid with Vision if he's a robot?
Maybe in the sitcom, because like every sitcom we know, like the main characters have kids, so maybe they already have kids, and then one of them will become Wiccan or something.
Yeah. Who knows? I don't know what's going to happen.
I just really, it'd be awesome if they had like a cool sitcom theme, like a '60s like sitcom theme or something. Like, I don't know.
I saw where they likened the show to the Dick Van Dyke Show.
Oh yeah, I remember seeing that. But yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm sure something will happen. But I'm sure that, like you said, it's gonna be different, and I'm sure that there'll be some type of 50s, 60s TV theme song and stuff. One of those catchy themed music. We'll be like singing it and stuff. I'm really excited. I don't know. It's gonna be strange. It's gonna be strange. It's gonna be strange. It's gonna be Doctor Strange. I can tell you that much.
Thanos was gonna come and ruin your day.
Okay, we're done with you. All right, guys. We got one last thing here to talk about. And we've been speaking about a little bit about Marvel shows. We've talked about some Marvel shows that are going to be on Disney Plus before in previous episodes, and at this D23, we got some announcements for new Marvel shows coming. One for Miss Marvel, a She-Hulk show, and then one for Moon Knight. All three different characters. I'm pretty excited about all three of them. I want to know which one you're most excited about. Or if you don't know anything about these three characters and you're just here for the ride.
I'm really excited for Moon Knight. I mean, some people were complaining that it's going to be on Disney Plus, but I mean, like, I think it can still be kind of dark. Like, even like Daredevil on Netflix, I think that could be on Disney Plus if you like dumbed it down a tad. Because it's not like Punisher or bad, but yeah, I mean, I think they could do Moon Knight right and like have it kind of dark, but not like all gory and shit. Like PG-13 ish.
I mean, if you took out some of the, isn't there like some sex type scenes in Daredevil?
Yeah,
I mean, what makes Daredevil rated R?
Like mostly the sex and maybe some of the violence, but like it's not like super gory like the Punisher is. Like no one's getting like their heads blown off or something. But I mean, I think it could just go like PG-13 and just have it like implied violence or gore or whatever.
Yeah.
The dumb pal Zap.
I'm pretty excited for Moon Knight. I think Mark Spector is a pretty cool character, and he creates like these alter egos. Like he creates like 3 different alter egos, like a taxi driver and some other people, and like so he's not like one he doesn't have like one identity. He has like four or something like that. But like
Yeah.
like in the Ultimate Universe, they made him a schizophrenic, which was kind of funny. But I don't think he's a schizophrenic in the main comic book universe. But in the Ultimate Universe, he was like a schizophrenic, and these characters were inside his head. It would be kind of cool if they went that route, actually. But yeah, Moon Knight's probably one of my favorite Marvel characters. And then Miss Marvel and She-Hulk. It's cool that they're bringing some more females into the mix. And of course, I'm excited for Miss Marvel. She-Hulk, I don't know. I mean, I've never really been a huge fan of She-Hulk. But it'd be cool if they had Mark Ruffalo in there. I'm sure they will, kind of to bring that origin about. But
Yeah, I have a good feeling that was actually part of the transition into the the smart Hulk or Professor Hulk or however you want to look at it. That was part of his transition into that, is that a way they could do the She-Hulk series. Somebody to kind of give her a guiding light into what it's like to have those abilities.
Yeah.
I as y'all probably know, Eliza Dushku does the voice of She-Hulk in a lot of the animated stuff. And she had talked in the past in interviews about how badly she wanted to play She-Hulk for the Avengers movies or for the MCU. So I'm actually kind of curious if they're going to use her to play She-Hulk.
Who knows?
But I don't really have much. Me personally, I don't have much to say about Moon Knight. More so what he said. But I am actually really interested in seeing Miss Marvel series.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I really don't really care too much about She-Hulk enough to be super excited about it. I mean, I'm pumped to just get more shows. So excited for that, and just to see more stuff tied in together. Moon Knight, that's probably my second one, just because like Zach already said enough about it. Just I can't wait to see how they're going to do the different personalities and stuff like that. And so I think that's something different than what we've seen before. So as far as MCU shows go, so I'm excited to see where they go with that. The most excited, though, I'm definitely excited for Miss Marvel. Huge Kamala Khan fan. I cannot wait to see her in live action. That was like one of the characters that I said that I'd really want to see live action before, I think, on a previous episode. And Miss Marvel will be the one character that I'd want to see in the future. And so now that she's getting her own Disney Plus show, super excited about that. And so I'm just excited that she's getting a spotlight and so much stuff now, because she was her name was name dropped. She was in the trailer thing for the Marvel's Avengers, the Square Enix game, which we've talked about, coming out next year. She's in the in that what happens in the 5 years in the past. She was there, and that bomb that goes off is a Terrigen bomb, and that's what gives Miss Marvel her powers. So I'm assuming that, though that they haven't showed her off gameplay from her, I'm thinking in the actual main game of that Marvel's Avengers game that Miss Marvel's going to be like a main character that you use. So I'm super excited that she's getting all this love now. So, but yeah, I'm just excited for new Marvel shows. So,
One other thing that you didn't have it listed on our show notes, but the they did show some of the what if screen caps and stuff like that, and I thought it was great that the first introduction for the what if stuff is that they're doing what if Peggy Carter was the person to get the super serum and not not Captain America.
Yeah, and she becomes a version of Captain Britain.
Yeah, and they had the talking about little Steve Rogers in the first ever tiny little Iron Man suit made by Tony Stark.
And they also have Winter Soldier and Falcon fighting zombies. I also didn't say this whenever we were talking about Winter Soldier and Falcon, but did you guys see the poster that they dropped or that was given out at D23?
Yeah, Sebastian Stan has a completely different look, and Falcon, it looks like they just took the Falcon outfit and painted it in Captain America colors.
Oh, and he also said that he's not going to be Captain America. He's still going to be Falcon.
That's weird.
He said that yeah, Cap gave him a shield, but Cap didn't give him the shield and say, "Hey, you're Captain America now."
So he's staying as...
Yeah, that's something apparently that they're going to address in the show.
Okay.
And I guess something that he's going to be struggling with throughout the season is to be the next Captain America or not.
They might pass the shield around in between them too.
That's what I've always guessed was going to happen anyway. So now that I know for sure that he's,
both people have been Captain America.
Right. Now that I know that he struggles with it throughout the series, I wouldn't be surprised at the end of the series that it's Bucky that who ends up with the shield.
Or at least Bucky who winds up wearing one of the Captain America outfits from the movies.
Yeah, now that, especially with Bucky's clean shaven look and his haircut again, I wouldn't be surprised at all if he ends up being Captain America at the end of the day. Wouldn't be surprised at all.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, you guys ready to end this thing here?
Let's wrangle up this rodeo.
All right, Zach, you want to give us our social media pages?
Oh yes, you can follow us on Facebook.com/Blind Bandit Productions or Twitter on Twitter at BBP for real. That's it, right?
YouTube, we got Blind Bandit Productions as well, and then Instagram Blind Bandit Productions, and I think that's it now.
I'm never doing that again. So,
what's our Zanga page again, Ryan?
Tim Chimes in Production. Oh
no, okay. Does not compute.
On MySpace at Blind Bandit Productions.
We're everywhere. And you can listen to us everywhere that you listen to podcasts on, like Podbean, Spotify, iTunes, YouTube, Google Podcast, and Stitcher. And anything that collects anything like that, any special apps that I don't know about that collects other people's app stuff that just mooches off of other people's apps.
Except for Sound, we're not on SoundCloud, so don't even try there.
We're not on SoundCloud because I guess we're not that cool. We're not cool enough for SoundCloud.
I am, but I won't give you my Fire mixtape.
Oh snap! Yeah, you're just gonna have to wait for that Dusty Mania album next week, guys. We want to thank you so much for listening to this episode 36. We missed you, Jeremiah. Sorry that Jeremiah got called into work today, even though we changed the day to get him on the show. But hey, whatever. It's all good. No big deal. We will see you next week. And remember, #good stuff.
I don't care.